Social media accounts are designed to make people depressed. Think about the basic concept of the social media account. For instance, you go onto the internet and you're exposed to pictures of people who you've met in real life, except what they're trying to do is create some sort of image of themselves so that when people see it, they have a specific impression of them. So what you see is this, the person who you've met in real life actually trying to project an image of themselves onto you, and then you're forced to rate it and have an opinion on it. You're even given the option to give it a like and so forth. So what you have here is people who you've met in your real life trying to influence you in your digital life, and then the inevitable consequence of it is you having an opinion on that person without them being able to influence that opinion outside of them influencing the photography of whatever picture or whatever post that they put up. So Facebook encourages you to have opinions of people that you might otherwise not have, because when you're on the internet and you're sitting alone in your room or on your phone in the subway looking down, you're in a mentality of solitude. You're in your own head and you're looking at these pictures of these people, and you're allowed to make your own assumptions that might not be based in reality. And the problem that this can have when you see these people in real life is that these the same images that you have and the same thoughts and provokes and things that you've experienced in the digital world and your imagined interactions with these people can bleed over into real reality and result in antisocial tendencies. And I've noticed this affect more and more with people as the social media accounts and stuff have grown in popularity over the years. When I was younger, I remember when the social media was a new thing, and I remember thinking, oh, it's going to be great to be able to interact with all my friends on MySpace was the big thing back then. And then once it turned into Facebook, everything changed, because it seemed like everybody was on there and everybody was always thinking that what they did was going to have a big impact on the way that people saw them. But the reality of it was that you can't really become famous from anything you put on Facebook. You're really just annoying the people who you see in real life, and you're trying to pretend that they're something like your entourage, when in reality they're just people who are living their own lives and trying to continue to do a day-to-day life. But what it really does is it confuses you and makes you think that the people who you've met at work are actually interested in what you had for breakfast, and that's where you get people who are posting these nonsensical things thinking that people on the internet are going to be interested in seeing what they have to say, because that's the thing that their celebrity does. And that's another great thing that social media does, is it turns people into celebrity worshippers, because they see the news feed from their favorite celebrity alongside with the news feed of their friend. Now this encourages them to compare themselves with celebrities, because you'd think about it, your favorite celebrity gets 1 million likes on their post and then you get 0 likes, so you're going to see yourself as incredibly inferior to that celebrity to a certain extent, even if it's not in the forefront of your mind. In a subconscious way, you do feel the sting of not being on the same level as that person, which is the same type of validation feeling in reverse when you actually do get a like, and you get that sort of same feeling as if maybe you are a celebrity. So what the internet kind of does is it keeps people running around in a circle where they're on Facebook trying to see themselves as a celebrity, and they're projecting themselves in front of people who know them in real life, so they don't care about what they're doing. But it keeps you thinking that the more you project this image of yourself, the more that you're going to actually reach that. But in reality, there's no where to go from it. You have to kind of do something in real life to be seen as something in the real world, or whatever. You have to at least do something. But yeah, I digress. See, like I said, the basic platform of Facebook and many other social media platforms is to make you the outside observer, and you're like I said, you're just sitting there, on your own somewhere on the phone computer device, comparing various elements of your peers' lives to your own, or to other things that you've seen. And you're looking at a friend's picture that you've seen, maybe a long time ago in life, and you haven't seen them since, and now you see this picture of them having fun, and it does inspire jealousy in a lot of situations. situations, because you see these people and maybe you have a crush on some girl, and then you see that she posted a comment on your friend's picture. You're going to be jealous of that interaction, where if you were in life, you might welcome all interactions because they're interactions between people and there's something you can learn from everything. But what social media does is it takes us away from that, and it turns the interaction of people into sort of a game. It turns it all into like who can get the most things, the most markups on a certain social media account, and what that does is it makes people invalidate their real life experiences, and it makes them depressed. And that's where you get social media depression, because people, they go onto their internet things and then something gets them mad, and then once they're mad and infuriated and looking at things, then nothing can stop them, and then everything they look at is going to be in the same meditation of anger. And the more they meditate in this feeling of anger, and the more they look onto the internet, the more it's going to self-escalate, and it's a tough cycle to break out of, because people continue to go back to their social media accounts looking for validation, and what they find is things that make them angry, because there are things that are posted on the internet that, are marketed towards them to try and get them to be angry or get them to feel inferior, because that's the basic premise of marketing, is people go onto the internet and, advertisers try to make you feel inferior, to make an artificial need for you, and that's exactly what the marketing people take advantage of when people are on the internet. They're in a very vulnerable state. They're just scrolling on their Facebook without really thinking, and just sort of, interacting with advertisements and interacting with the people who they see, but really taking everything for granted. It makes people have more of a surface approach to life, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that as time continues to press on. We're going to see people being more interested in just the surface superficiality of things, and more wrapped up in the amount of likes that they can get for something, rather than actually taking a valid experience from things. Now, if you want to, learn from anything I've said here, what you can do is just sort of break away from your social media accounts. I mean, you don't really need to get your validation from there. You could get it from your actual life, because that's originally what human beings were, designed to do. There's plenty of things that you can do. Go outside and look at your dog, instead of liking a picture of a dog on the internet, they're actually getting a real book, for instance, instead of reading it off the Kindle. I mean, these are really interesting things that can actually make you, it's surprising to see that how much we lose when we're always interacting through computers and so forth, and you'll find more of that as you start to drift away. And so, to move on to my second point, good friends are people who you meet in life, and they're people who who can help you out through troubles and so forth. But when you meet people on the internet, I mean, those people don't care about you. They just want, or maybe they do care about you, but the fact of the matter is 99% of the people who you're interacting with on the internet aren't people who you interact with on a daily basis, so they just don't have the way to help you. So you might see them as somebody who doesn't want to help you, when in reality they might be somebody who would actually be able to help you, but you have your own opinion on them and your own solitary mind, so it's not really like you actually even could get a realistic impression of the person, because the only impression that you're getting is the one that they're depicting for themselves in their social media accounts. So it's all just sort of a cycle of invalidation and seeing the world through a different point of view, and not being able to appreciate life and the value of the time that you have in front of you. Now, that being said, there are a lot of good things that can come from social media, such as like job opportunities, and actual being in contact with people is a beautiful thing, and it actually can bring you closer together if you use it for the right purposes. And not to say, not to pick on these things specifically, I'm just saying that there are a lot of black holes that people can fall into as far as depression goes, and things I've cited previously. If only people knew the amount of disconnection that they are actually experiencing, because if you just look back to like the way that people were interacting in the old days, you'll see a lot more of it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to, pretend that you're living in like the 1950s or anything like that. Certainly, we are in the new age, and that technology is a part of everything. So you do have to have a presence on these accounts most of the time to even support your job at this point. As far as emails and responding to bosses and stuff goes. So it's not necessarily something to hate. It's more something just to ensure, to make a part of your life, but not let it control you. And those are going to be the people who, really prosper in the future. future are the people who can really find a synchronistic way to make the social media accounts work for their actual social lives and actually know how to have a conversation with somebody. Because the ability to actually have an interaction with people is it's actually a really important skill that you can have in this day and age, and it's one that not many people have. And it's simple. All you need to do is just have conversations with people, and then just look around and try to enjoy your life, I guess, because you're missing a lot of it when you're on the computer and you're focused on who's on social media or who's doing what on the computer. Although it is important to a certain degree, we're just sort of silly humans and we're wrapped up in that stage of our development. Anyways, those were just my opinions on the and so forth on social media depression and what I call the Facebook mentality. So if you're interested in interacting with this video, you can just comment down below, and I'd love to entertain your thoughts. So have a nice day.